What's up, guys? My name is Dawson Weidrich. I'm starting a new YouTube channel where basically I review things of any kind. I talk about comic books, talk about comic book characters, superhero movies, movies of any kind, music, take on different art projects, and show you guys tutorials of how to do certain things. There's going to be a lot of diversity on this channel, and so with that, let's get to this first entry. So for my first video, I'm going to be talking about something that's been very personal to me, a very personal project of mine for the past couple of months. And so me and my siblings were all very much comic book nerds, basically, for lack of a better term. And me and my brothers had come up with a concept for a fan film. You've seen a lot of those on YouTube, whether they be about Superman, Batman. One of those you've seen maybe is a fan film about The Dark Knight Returns, which is based on the graphic novel by Frank Miller. And basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to make a storyline where basically it clashes Batman and Green Arrow, together and into a battle. Not necessarily because they want to fight each other, but just because some things are at play where they have to go against each other. And so basically we wanted to make this as realistic and as professional looking as possible, but at the same time, a lot of financial trouble, meaning that we can't necessarily buy every single possible product that we need. And so I took this as an opportunity for an art project of mine. And I've been doing projects like this since I was little, not necessarily on this scale, but I've been imagining projects like this for a long time. And me being the Batman fan of the family, you can probably see from all the different things around me, I decided to take on the bat suit. And I just kind of want to make a tutorial video on probably the most complicated part of the bat suit, which is the cowl. As you can see right here, this is what my cowl looks like up until now. And so what I want to do is I want to take you through the process to what I did, what products I used, and also show you that you can make a bat cowl out of cheap material. And so to start off, I got this foam off of Amazon. I got two different kinds. I got this really thin black foam that's very moldable, very flexible, and you can cut it up and piece it together into different shapes. And I also got this other foam that's a little bit thicker. I was intended to use this as a sort of like armor kind of foam to cut it out and make different armor pieces, more so for the body. But of course, much like any art projects, plans change and you use different products for different things than you had planned for. And so, first off, after I got the foam, I looked at plans for making a bat cowl, and I got really good ones from Etsy.com. Really good. It was based off the design for the cowl for Justice League with Ben Affleck as Batman. And so I used that, and the only issue with these plans is that there weren't necessarily any dimensions, because everybody's head's different. Everybody's going to design a cowl that will probably fit them better, and everybody's head's a different shape, so they didn't have any exact dimensions for it. And so a lot of it had to be eyeballed. Basically what I had to do was I had to piece together the front of the mask first, where the eyes and the nose are. And you have to piece it together, you have to do it into two pieces. And with that you have to put them together in an angle, so it ends up like this in your face. Because you see in most Batman iterations, whether it be in comic books, cartoons, or movies, there's a little bit of an angle on the mask on the face, right where the mask meets, about close to where the upper lip is. And so I had to piece it together that way, and I did that first with paper. Drew everything out with paper on the sides, the front and the sides, where the bat ears would come up. And so just to show you, you have to first do this front area first, right here, with paper again, and then do the side, including this area, with paper. Which wasn't incredibly difficult. I mean, once I got this part down, I kind of measured it up to my face. I was able to kind of eyeball this part a little bit and get it pretty accurate. And so once you do this side, you can just do this other side by tracing that side. So that part's pretty simple. Now when it comes to piecing together the foam for it, it became a little bit complicated. So I cut out the foam for the front part and the sides here with the ears. And so that wasn't hard at all. You have to piece that together. I used some electric tape and duct tape on the inside. But once I had to get this over the top part here, the top of the skull, the back here, I had to use a lot of electric tape. And so what I did is I covered the entire thing with electric tape so it would all be one solid texture, one solid surface. Because I was intending to spray paint it a certain kind of black color, whether it be a little bit really dark gray or just strictly black. But when I got to the point where I was spray painting it, I spray painted it the first time and you could see all the lines of the tape with the electric tape. And so obviously there was a texture problem and I had to figure out how to solve that. And the solution came to me. The solution was Flex Seal. It's this rubberized spray that you use to, of course, seal leaks on pipes. And you've probably seen the famous commercial where they have a screen door at the bottom of a boat and they spray the whole thing with Flex Seal and there's no leaks. And so using this, I've been very satisfied with how it has worked, because as you can see on here, when you spray the whole thing with Flex Seal, it gives it a very rubberized texture. which most bat cowls in movies or cartoons seem to have, especially in the live action movies. And you've seen the 1989 movie Batman with Michael Keaton. It's a very rubberized texture. That's exactly what you want. Also the same thing with Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, Ben Affleck's cowl. And so after spray painting that, I decided to add a little bit of things onto the neck, because at first I just had the head sculpt. As you can see here, this is the initial design, but I designed a little thing for a neck, back of the neck, because I'm going to use a certain like spandex head covering for the neck part, and also to attach and make it look more like a full cowl. And I didn't just want the spandex underneath, because you have the rubberized foam right here, meat ends right here, and a huge drop off on the neck. And you want to have your cowl have a nice decent sized neck, and so I designed this so when it's done I can have a nice little neck right there. It's not connected to the headpiece, but it looks pretty close to it once it is completed. And now many of you are probably wondering, as far as the foam is concerned, how are you going to mold that to your face? How are you going to make sure you stick that there? Well, my solution was a dust mask. Now if any of you worked in construction before, you'll know that there's certain places where you can't go unless you use a dust mask, which basically is a white little covering, and there's always a metal piece that goes across the bridge of the nose. And so what I did is I took that and I attached it right inside here. You can probably see it there on your screen. And basically I taped the ends with the electric tape, I snuck it in there with the tape, and then I covered the rest of it with hot glue, which worked pretty well, surprisingly. And so basically now I can just simply mold the nose to either as skinny or as wide as I want, and even just displaying it, it looks cool, because otherwise it would have just been a flat, kind of cartoonish looking nose, which can work depending on what style you're going for. One other thing you guys might have noticed is the detail on the eyebrow of the cowl here. You see the scowl here that's permanently inside the cowl. Now you see this in multiple movies, most specifically, or most recently, in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Ben Affleck's cowl does a great job of having that permanent scowl and I guess that brooding look. And so basically what I did is at first I took simply rectangles of the foam that I used for this cowl and attached it right here to a certain angle, just to kind of bide some time until I figured out a more permanent solution. And then in my 3D design class, I'm in college right now, one of my classes, we're using air dry clay. And so what I decided to do was use the excess dry clay or air dry clay that I had and mold a scowl here. So you see the different bumps right here. If I can look up closer up here, you see the permanent scowl there, you see the angle of that right there, that's all air dry clay. And you're kind of wondering, how does that stay in there? It's because the Flex Seal it's a flexible, again, rubberized spray that keeps it on there in that permanent scowl. It actually looks like very natural on the cowl. And so those are things that I've done so far, and so I just want to kind of tell you where I'm going from here. Again, I told you I'm using a spandex head covering that only exposes the face. It's going to cover the neck and top of the head. And I'm going to be using fabric glue to attach these pieces together. Those pieces meaning the head covering and the cowl here, the inside of the cowl. And so by the end, I'm hoping that it's going to look like a full cowl, again, as I mentioned, with the back neck area. And so again, all these are very cheap products that you can pick up at your convenience store. You can pick them on eBay, very cheap. The dust mask for only $5, and this foam, you get a big giant roll of it for $15. And so again, if you're looking to make a very good quality cowl, but don't have the financial requirements to make it exactly movie-like, you can still make a very good quality one with limited funds that you have. That's my first video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Click like and subscribe for more videos. And we're doing a lot of different material, whether it be comic book stuff, movies, music, art projects, whatever the case may be. So tune in next time. And also want to give a shout out to my younger brother, Brigham Weidrich. He's in charge of Briggs Comics. That's with an apostrophe before the S. He does reviews of old comic books, of movies, both old and new. And I've been doing this for a couple weeks now. So give him a like and subscription, and we'll see you guys next time.